students, here we are for our weekly live. For those who don't know me, I'm Dr. Melissa MacDonald. I'm a sports chiropractor here in Minnesota, and boy, over the last week, things have changed. I know quite a few states have gone into stay-at-home orders, particularly my home state of Michigan. Minnesota hasn't made that move yet, but they have strongly encouraged, where possible, for people to stay home. And that simply means we're spending home more than probably anybody wants to, and working from home, especially if you never planned on working from home, you've never taken the time to think about, okay, how do I set up my home office? How do I avoid having animals or children or distractions, whatever the case is? How do I make the fact that I find home comfortable, but I don't necessarily find working from home comfortable? How do I make this work? Plus, you're not leaving. And home can really be a challenging thing to have to deal with day in and day out. So let's talk about how you set up your home office and make it a functional space. And then let's talk about how you stay healthy and some of the things that you can do to kind of remain active when you're confined to a tiny, tiny space. So first and foremost, when setting up your home office, designated area. Whether it be your kitchen table or your dining room table, sometimes you have one or the other, or maybe you actually have a desk, designate that space for your office and use the same space day in and day out. Now, most of us don't have the luxury of having a standing desk, me included. And maybe at work you have that. So that's something you're going to have to kind of adapt to or modify something in your home. I have been known to use the cat tree behind me because some of the shelves are at the right height, kind of shift it around and stand and type there. It's a fix, not ideal, and granted, the coworkers that occupy the cat tree aren't always at peace with having someone occupy their space, but it does help. And I see we have some people on with us. Hi, Andy, Sarah, Madison, Tim. If you guys are watching live, thank you. If you guys have any questions, go ahead and tune in and post them. I will happily answer them. I know it's definitely been a change. Now, so we have our desk. You have your designated workspace tabletop area. Next, you need to decide on a chair. Whether that be the chair that came with the space or a different chair that allows you want to be able to sit back a little bit, be able to keep your shoulders back so you keep a better position. You also want to try to get the chair high enough so that you're at a 90-90 with your wrist to prevent any damage. Now, the easiest way to kind of achieve this is to have an adjustable chair, if possible. If not, do the best you can. I am not above putting textbooks or other devices under my chairs to kind of raise and lift them to the height I need, just to modify them in a short spurt. The other thing is your laptop height. So most of us don't have desktops at home. We have a laptop, and we want to make sure that we have it at eye level. So right now, I actually have my laptop lifted on a set of TheraPads that I use for concussion rehab and instability training. So I have my laptop up, so my wrist actually coming in are completely up like this. Not ideal for typing, better for keeping ideal posture. So I have a detachable keyboard that I utilize. Fairly inexpensive off of Amazon, so you can get it delivered right to your door. So if this becomes a long-term situation where you're going to have to sit and utilize a laptop, getting that detachable keyboard and lifting your computer up can really help get you into a better ergonomic position, which ultimately means fewer headaches, fewer neck pain, less carpal tunnel. And I mean, I don't want to have a bunch of people, now that they're out of their ergonomic office spaces, having a bunch of pain. So take the time to set up your space as best you can, because ultimately we don't know how long we might be in this distance mentality, or in fact, if they just decide, hey, now that we have everybody set up for telecommuting, this worked really well. And we lowered carbon emissions because not as many people were driving and we didn't have any stop and function. So let's just keep it going. I don't know what the ultimate outcome is for telecommuting. So let's utilize the best system possible. Now, a lot of meetings are happening on Zoom and happening via video conference. That means you need appropriate lighting. And not windows behind you will backlight you and make you go dark. So having a easy light just facing you will help make everything appear a little better. Now, I get to cheat since I've been doing this for a couple weeks and I already had a light that I got off of Facebook Marketplace for $20. So you can always find good things on that. So don't think it takes much, but if nothing else, this seat also faces 2 large windows. So during the day, I can just put up the blinds and it provides enough natural light to light me for certain meetings so I don't have to pull out the big light. The other thing is when working, natural light is best. It'll make you feel better. It'll help boost your energy. It'll help keep you productive. And so having a workspace that gives you that is going to be great. Now, having my back to a room or back to a door can cause some anxiety if someone sneaks up on you or something sneaks up on you, child or cat. For me, definitely going to be a cat that would sneak up on me. So keep that in mind that this could be anxiety producing by having your back open to a room. Just something to consider. Now, for working at home, it's also important to decide on office hours, set hours. I'm going to work from this time to this time because it's a really bad habit, one, to try and work more because work's right there. You're home. You're working at home. You're not going anywhere. But this leads to issues of taking up family time or not being able to communicate with family, hey, I need to get this done. So having set office hours. So I'm going to work from this time to this time. I need to be left alone to do it during that time can help create some peace when dealing with other members of the family. Now, I find it fun to call individuals at home, such as my cats, my coworkers, just because it's cute and it brings some humor and levity to the situation. And I was really worried that I was going to have a guest tonight because, well, our black and white cat has been in a mood in the last hour, just running around crazy. So I was hoping she got the zoomies out before we went on live, and it looks like she's behaving. So that's kind of the keys to setting up your home office. Deciding your workspace, making sure you sit and utilize the same space, making sure you have a chair that's ideally heighted, whether you're stacking it up on books or putting the table, adjusting however you have to get into an ideal 90-90 position, utilizing lighting to both promote energy and productivity and allow you to be seen on any conference calls that you might be having, and then deciding on office hours so that you can actually get work done during the craziness of not necessarily having a offsite to go to. So those are kind of your big pieces for keeping the workspace safe. Now, how do you stay healthy in this scenario? Most of us aren't accustomed to being cooped up, being separated from people. And I fully admit for some, being away from people is going to be very hard on your mental health. It could trigger thoughts of depression or thoughts of suicide or self-harm. So recognize that if you start feeling that way, reach out. This past weekend, I had a bunch of different groups that I met with. We called them the meetings quarantinis. So we got together for a meeting while quarantined, while having a beverage of some sort. So recognize that there are ways to socialize and have friend groups together without physically being in the same space. And ultimately, if you need to go see someone, it's still a small group. So do what you have to stay safe. I'm going to be providing some resources on mobility, agility, chiropractic performance for if you're having mental distress during this time, people you can call and reach out to so that you have a place of resources. Now, 5 steps to stay healthy. First one, get sleep. We function better, we stay healthier if we are well rested. So whatever that means for your body. Some people, 6 hours is exactly what they need to be high functioning and feeling good. Other people, it's 8 to 10. Find the hours you need and sleep. It is so easy now that we're home to stay up late watching TV or socializing with our spouse or hanging out with our family and not get the sleep we need. So make sure you're designating out, okay, if I'm getting up at this time, I need to go to sleep at this time, and try to maintain a normal schedule. That will help you feel better during this time of unknown. And definitely, we as humans do not deal with change well. And I will say this past 2 weeks has been a lot of change. So first step, get sleep. Next, drink plenty of water. You need to make sure that you're trying to get about half your weight in ounces of water per day. And I know that's a lot and it's a goal. But when our body is well hydrated, we feel better, our kidneys function better, and we have more energy. And with being kind of confined to a small space, it can be important to use every method of trying to feel better to get there. So drinking enough water is an important piece of feeling better in this time. Third step, stay active. And this might be a great time now that you have extra time because you're not spending however many hours you are commuting. I know for me, getting to and from my office was about 45 minutes during rush hour. I have that time back now that I'm home more because I'm only going in for emergencies. Now, I can take that time and apply it to exercise, whether that's going out for a run or a jog if it's weather permitting. If you're not able to leave your home, perhaps it's starting a yoga practice using a free resource such as YouTube to start doing yoga. Or every day at 10 a.m., I'm posting a at-home workout routine. Now, a couple of the pieces require, and I'm going to put quotes, require weights. Now, we don't have weights in our house. We have bowling balls, and we have textbooks, and we have suitcases. So depending upon the type of weight I want, I put books in the suitcases to create that weight. Or I have some simple exercise bands. And that's how I'm creating the exercises to remain active. And really, we're working out right here in our living room. Not ideal, but we're staying active, we're having fun, we're making it a competition. Because what's the one thing people really love? Competition. So every day, 10 a.m., the clinic is posting a at-home exercise series. Today was our 8th day posting it. So if you haven't started, you already have 8 exercise days laid out in front of you to get on that bandwagon. And if you have any questions about those exercises or don't know how to do any of them, please feel free to reach out. We're happy to help you. Now, after staying active, you have to make sure you feed yourself well. And this is challenging since it's a little harder to get fresh foods if you're not going out and going to the grocery store regularly. So do the absolute best you can. We went and got some frozen vegetables so that we at least had frozen items. We've been eating fresh while we've been able. And then we have fresh fruit, but we also got canned fruit just so we would have that on hand. And we're making, I made some soup in the slow cooker. We have some frozen homemade tomato sauce that I had put together. So just kind of compiling those meals, both in comfort and healthy, just to keep you active and try to keep down on snacking. That is the hardest thing when working from home is the snacking. Or if you snack, do an exercise. This way it might negate it a little bit. I know for me, I'm a big snacker, so the best I can, we have them in the house and I have it out of sight, because if it's out of sight, it's out of mind, but it's there if we need something. And the final piece of how to stay healthy during this, and I'm sure you've heard, I hope you've heard this. Wash your hands. Literally wash your hands. Not hand sanitizer. Hand sanitizer actually might not be entirely effective against COVID-19. What you really, really need to utilize is just washing your hands with soap and water. Because when you use that, it actually takes the virus and puts it down the drain. So when you come inside, wash your hands, grab a antimicrobial or a Clorox and a Lysol wipe off your phone. Phones are probably the thing we forget to clean the most. Ew. And think of all the places your phone has been and touched. Ugh. Ugh. Clean your phone. That is the biggest, what we would call in the medical world, and it's my favorite word right now, fomite. Fomite is an inanimate object that can transmit diseases, the most common one being a white coat within the medical world. Blech. But fomite. So your phone is your biggest issue. Make sure you clean it. And if you follow those steps, sleep, drink water, stay active, eat healthy, and wash your hands, really, everything should be fine. Oh, and stay home. When possible, stay home. So if anybody has any questions, I see we have a bunch of people tuned in right now. Hi, Ashley. Hey, Moose. Hey, Amanda. Welcome to our weekly live. I know some of you are tuning in for the first time, probably because one, you're finally at home, because I know at least for you, Moose, you don't have practice, and I'm so sorry. And Amanda, you might be home because you can't give massages right now during this chaos. And I really am glad that everybody was able to join in and get some information. If you have any questions, go ahead and write them. If you have questions after this video is posted, just hashtag replay so that I know that I haven't already answered it in the video. And I want to make sure that everybody is staying healthy and happy, because right now is incredibly stressful for our mental health. It is not easy to be home alone, or even worse, home with your spouse. That can be stressful in and of itself, because you've never spent this much time, because you always had your escape to work, and you've now lost that ability to do. So please, please, please make sure you are taking care of yourself. So again, setting up a workspace, designate a space, designate times, use a chair that keeps your arms and hands in a 90-90. If possible, get a detachable keyboard for your laptop so you can keep your laptop at eye level and have your keyboard down below, so it's more comfortable and more ergonomic than what laptops allow. And your 5 tips for staying healthy: sleep, water, exercise, eat healthy, and wash your hands. And so Amanda, are you stuck at home because you have to keep your husband healthy because he's a trucker, or are you out on the road with him right now? Because that would be insane. Well, I am so happy everybody got to tune in tonight. Next week, we will be doing another live video. Anybody, you know what? I know what we're going to do. We are going to do stretching for sitting at the desk, how to stretch and prevent carpal tunnel, because I imagine by next week, after sitting at home and working from home without an ergonomic station, people are going to start to have some headaches. So let's go over how to prevent some work-related headaches and neck pain so that you can help manage yourself at home. Now, here in Minnesota, if you have an emergent situation that you need care, I can still see you in office. Otherwise, I have set up telehealth, and we'll be able to provide exercises individualized for you via the online system, which it's a video conference that is HIPAA compliant. And then I have exercise videos to direct send you to just help keep people healthy and moving and safe. I want everyone to remain as safe and healthy as possible because I think this is going to go on a bit longer than anyone can imagine. And with that, I'm going to say, have a wonderful evening. Again, if you have any questions, go ahead and post them in the comments below. I look forward to seeing everyone next week because here at Mobility Agility Chiropractic Performance, we want to get you better faster, keep you better longer because no one has time to be sidelined. You have a wonderful evening. To keep up to date with future content, please click subscribe. Additional information is found in the description of this video.
All information, content, material of this video is for information purposes only and are not intended to serve as a substitute for the consultation, diagnosis, and/or medical treatment of a qualified physician or healthcare provider.